Hi, I'm Jeff Ondria, an account executive with Arkieva. Thanks for joining us here on Arkieva Spotlight. Today, we're back to continue our discussion on the 5 distinct steps of developing an effective S&OP process that's outlined in Dr. Singh's book, Practical Guide for Improving Sales and Operational Planning. On our last Arkieva Spotlight, we discussed step 3, routinely creating a demand plan. Today, we're here to discuss step 4, balancing supply and demand. With me to discuss this step is my colleague, Dr. Ken Fordyce. Ken's a data scientist here at Arkieva with an extensive experience with supply chain planning. Ken, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Jeff. Glad to be here today.
Ken, listen, we just usually jump right into it. So what kind of problems can a business expect to run into if they aren't able to balance their supply and demand?
All right, Jeff. Well, the term I usually use is Central Planning Engine, or CP for short. That has to do with my heritage from IBM.
Yep.
That which I refer to as supply planning. So I think the right place to start is say, what's the role of the CP? It serves as the control point for synchronizing the flow of material in your network. So without a central planning engine or balancing, you don't have synchronization. Two, it enables a firm to assess the requirements. So I have a bunch of demand. The question then becomes, how do I actually make the demand? Can I actually make the demand? How do I best make the demand?
Right.
Third, it creates a game plan for the enterprise so that the enterprise operates as one unit that's synchronized. So essentially, it avoids on a hunch, start a bunch. On a hunch, start a bunch is a real term that came out of the efforts I did in 1995 at IBM, because those factory guys are going to go start something. So you best give them some instructions about what to start that you think matches the demand, because they're not going to let their equipment sit idle. So back to the original question, the activities of the supply and demand network, if you don't balance it correctly, will not be synchronized. Manufacturing location will wake up and it'll make product one, and location B will expecting product two. The second thing is your customer commitments will not be met.
Right.
The third item, inefficiencies will occur. So, for example, you may have product 3 that's already in inventory and you don't know it's in inventory. So you wake up and you make it from scratch. So it's really, without a central planning engine, essentially you're flying blind.
Yeah, understood. So if one were to begin a process of balancing the supply and demand, where should they start? And what type of tasks should the team expect?
All right, so we can divide this into two groups, creating the CP and using the CPE. So specific to creating a central planning engine, every firm has one in place someplace, whether they're doing it on index cards or they're using the most advanced to solve around. So you start there. You start with what people are doing, you do a clear evaluation, and then you get everybody involved and decide where to go next. So that used to be called joint application development, sort of the two as is and the to be process. All right. Then once you do that, then you have two major tasks in making it. You need to secure your data supply lines.
Right.
Do I have synchronized inventory? Do I have my synchronized demand statement? So you have to secure your supply lines. And then the second thing is you build a flexible model structure. The model structure is flexible in a sense that it can meet different business needs without manually going in and changing the equations. All right.
Sure.
Specifically to supporting the business process, this requires an assessment of which variations of the model are needed. Sometimes some people want to run a model or CPE where they only have their firm demand or the firm orders.
Right.
Sometimes they, in fact, want to add forecasted demand. Some models need to be run out at daily granularity for 3 months, and then other variations of it you need a 12-month horizon that with less granularity.
Sure.
So that, and then the second thing is then you have to put together a first-rate team that's different than the people that build it. These are the people that know your business and then will become what we call super users.
Right.
And the third critical component is if you want to be successful, you need a team that I refer to as agents of change, because this CPE will be technology that upsets the social order. So without a cadre of folks that can navigate this territory, that can be a super user and then turn around and write a bunch of assembler code at night to get to where you want to go, then you're less likely to have success in my experience.
Sure. So to get you there, what kind of technology deliverables should the business be striving for at that point, Ken?
Well, some of the deliverables I mentioned before on regular use, that is integrated into your into your day-to-day operations. So let me talk a little bit about the kind of technology that we're going to use to build the CPE. All right, this starts with assessing the complexity of your demand supply network. So, for example, do I have shared component parts that I have product A and it can go into A1, A2, A3? Do I have shared resources? Do I have alternative ways to make it? Do I have demand classes? How do I age my demand? So you have to do an assessment of the complexity. And what happens is when you do this assessment of the complexity, you initially don't think of them as complexities. You've just lived with them forever, and you
Right.
probably have a whole set of workarounds in your existing central planning engine. It's okay. Workarounds are fine. I've built plenty of workarounds in my life. So we want to get those out. That helps us determine the technology that we want to use, right? If you
Certainly.
have a lot of complexity, then you're most likely to use technically what I call mixed integer linear programming, but normally people refer to that as optimization. I really dislike the term optimization, and actually optimization used in a lot of places, but we'll use the term here for optimization since you're a friend of mine. Other than that, I wouldn't normally use it. And that deals with the
Appreciate that.
complexity. If you have less complexity, or to start off with, you need to lessen the complexity simply to get started, which happens very often. Then tools. There are tools at Arkieva, but they're just generally kinds of technology or rough cut capacity planning or rule based replenishment planning will work really well.
Cool.
And that's an assessment that you need to at the time make with your team.
Yep. Understood. So once you begin the exercise, how do you maintain it and improve on it, Ken?
Hard work. All right, as Harpo points out, you need to treat your CPE as central to your business and not a necessary evil. There's no way around making it hard work. You have to give your CPE team status. You have to plan enhancements each year. This is just an ongoing challenge. I've been part of applications that have had 20 and 30-year runs, and then I've seen applications get up, be built, everybody declared victory, and then a year later they were in fact in mothballed except for minor little items. So it's a commitment, and it's just hard work. You have to treat it as important to your business, and if you don't treat it too important to your business, then what happens is for a while you get away with being sloppy, and then something occurs. There's a change in a business. COVID is a perfect example. Something happens, and now you do not have the ability to respond quickly because you've lost that. You've just treated it as, yeah. So imagine you've just treated it as a regular everyday event, something that I have to do that not that's not considered important to the business.
Sure. What do you think a few benefits would be to the business doing these types of exercises?
All right. The obvious benefits are on-time delivery, better on-time delivery, improved use of inventory, better use of capacity. The largest benefit is vastly improved responsiveness to changes in demand, supply, and business. As we've already seen, and COVID has made us well aware of, both in terms of firms responding to COVID and in terms of organizations, public health organizations, the ability to respond intelligently is critical. And without this, you're sort of driving blind. It's a little bit like driving down the road and somebody takes away your Google Maps, right? Or whatever,
Right.
right? The second thing is um, a VP of supply chain that I got to know well said the following: given the scale and supply chain complexities, unless we can accurately model our supply capability and integrate this with configurable business rules for netting demand against the supply, the problem is largely unsolvable without sacrificing service for inventory or vice versa. Now, obviously, somebody want I can identify. Oh, I won't identify who the VP was, but it's a person I had a lot of respect for. And if you look hard at the blogs, you can figure out which one it is.
Sure. Fantastic, Ken. Ken, thanks for sharing your time
All right.
today.
Thank
I
you for the
appreciate all
opportunity
the
to chat.
information that you shared with us. It's good to know that we're friends. Very good
Uh,
to know. I'd like
uh,
to thank everybody for watching our Kiva series. We look forward to picking up the conversation the next time when we'll be discussing step 5, implementing sales and operation planning, right here on our Kiva Spotlight. Thank you.
all right. Thank you.